War is hell. Few phrases capture the brutality of human conflict more perfectly, and it was Union General William T. Sherman who spoke those immortal words. Today, commanders often delegate from a distance, but 160 years ago, during the American Civil War, that wasn't the case. Back then, commanders often rode into battle with their men, sharing the same risks. They weren't just strategists, they were soldiers. And like any soldier, they were susceptible to enemy fire, disease, or the overall unforgiving chaos of war. Here are the fates of 20 Confederate commanders who met their end on the battlefield. Let's kick things off with Robert Seldon Garnett. Born on December 16, 1819 in Essex County, Virginia, Garnett was a career U.S. Army officer who joined the Confederacy at the start of the war. He is best remembered as the first general officer on either side to be killed in the conflict. On July 13, 1861, while personally directing his rear guard at Corrick's Ford on the Cheat River, Garnett was shot in the back by Union infantry and killed almost instantly. He died at the age of 41. Benjamin McCullik was born on November 11, 1811, in Rutherford County, Tennessee. A veteran of the Texas Revolution and the Mexican-American War, McCullik gained fame as a frontiersman and scout before being appointed a brigadier general in the Confederate Army. During the Battle of Pea Ridge on March 7, 1862, McCullik rode forward into thick woods to personally scout Union positions. He was spotted and shot through the chest, killing him instantly. He died at the age of 50. Felix Kirk Zikoffer was born on May 19, 1812, in Maury County, Tennessee. Zikoffer entered the Confederate Army as a brigadier general despite having limited formal military training. During the Battle of Mill Springs on January 19, 1862, his brigade became disoriented in dense fog and heavily wooded terrain. In an effort to restore order, he personally rode forward through the confusion and approached what he believed to be a Confederate unit. Tragically, it was a Union regiment. Accounts differ on what happened next. Some suggest that he was shot by Union soldiers once they realized who he was, while others believe he may have been accidentally killed by his own men during the chaos. Regardless, he was struck multiple times and died almost instantly. Zikoffer died at the age of 49. Albert Sidney Johnston was born on February 2, 1803, in Washington, Kentucky. One of the most senior Confederate commanders at the start of the Civil War, Johnston held the rank of full general and was placed in charge of all Confederate forces west of the Alleghenies. During the Battle of Shiloh, Johnston led a major assault against Union positions and was actively directing the fighting in person. During the chaos of the assault, he was struck behind the right knee, severing the popliteal artery. Unaware of how serious the wound was, he continued to ride and issued orders until he collapsed from blood loss. With no surgeon nearby, and having sent his personal staff to care for other wounded soldiers, he received no medical attention and died after bleeding into his boot. Johnston died on April 6, 1862, at the age of 59. William Edwin Stark was born in 1814 in Brunswick County, Virginia. Stark quickly rose to the rank of brigadier general in the Confederate Army, largely due to his leadership abilities and influential connections. At the Battle of Antietam, Stark commanded a brigade with Jackson's division and was heavily engaged in the fierce fighting in the West Woods. While rallying his troops amid intense musket fire, he was struck multiple times, reportedly in the chest, stomach, and the leg. Stark died shortly afterward from the severity of his wounds on September 17, 1862, at the age of 48. George Bergwin Anderson was born on April 12, 1831, in Hillsborough, North Carolina. He was appointed a brigadier general and commanded a brigade in the Army of Northern Virginia. During the Battle of Antietam, Anderson was leading his North Carolinians near the Sunken Road, later known as Bloody Lane, where he was struck. The impact shattered his ankle. The wound quickly became infected, and despite attempts to save the limb, doctors were forced to amputate. Complications followed, and Anderson succumbed to infection nearly a month later. He died on October 17, 1862, at the age of 31. Maxi Gregory was born on August 1, 1814, in Columbia, South Carolina. A respected scholar, lawyer, and staunch advocate for succession, Gregory was known as an intellectual who supported states' rights long before the war began. During the Battle of Fredericksburg on December 13, 1862, Gregg's brigade was stationed in the wooded area known as the Slaughter Pen, behind the main Confederate lines. As Union forces under General George G. Meade launched a surprise assault through the woods, Gregory mistook the approaching troops for Confederates and ordered his men not to fire. The hesitation proved fatal. Gregory was shot in the back by Union infantry, and the bullet shattered his spine. He died the next day on December 14, 1862, at the age of 48. Thomas Reed Roots Cobb was born on April 10, 1823 in Jefferson County, Georgia. A prominent lawyer and defender of slavery, Cobb helped draft the Confederate Constitution and later took up arms, rising to brigadier general. During the Battle of Fredericksburg, Cobb was stationed behind the famous stone wall at Marye's Heights, where he had taken temporary command of the Confederate defenses. Amid heavy Union shelling, an artillery round exploded near the Telegraph Road, and a fragment blasted through the window of the Stevens house where Cobb was sheltering. The shrapnel struck him in the thigh and abdomen, severing his femoral artery and causing massive internal bleeding. Despite immediate medical efforts, including surgery, Cobb's condition deteriorated rapidly, and he bled to death within hours. He died later that day on December 13, 1862, at the age of 39. Next up is everyone's favorite, Thomas Jonathan Stonewall Jackson. Jackson was born on January 21, 1824, in Clarksburg, Virginia, what is now West Virginia. During the Battle of Chancellorsville on the evening of May 2, 1863, Confederate sentries mistook his party for Union cavalry. He was shot 3 times by friendly fire, twice in the left arm and once in the right hand. Jackson's left arm was amputated, and though he initially appeared to be recovering, he had developed pneumonia while recuperating. Despite medical care, Stonewall Jackson's condition worsened, and he died on May 10, 1863, at the age of 39. Lloyd Tilman was born on January 26, 1816, in Claiborne County, Maryland. At the Battle of Champion Hill, Tilman, a brigadier general, was directing artillery fire under heavy Union assault when he was struck by a shell fragment. The projectile shattered his chest, killing him instantly in front of his men. Tilman died on May 16, 1863, at the age of 47. Martin Edwin Greene was born on June 3, 1815, in Fauquier County, Virginia. During the siege of Vicksburg, legend has it that Greene, a brigadier general, said, quote, "A bullet has not yet been molded that will kill me, period." End quote. Then, like out of a movie, a Union sharpshooter spotted him and fired a fatal shot to the head, killing him instantly. Greene died on June 27, 1863, at the age of 48 years old. Richard Brook Garnett was born on November 21, 1817, in Essex County, Virginia, and was the cousin of Robert S. Garnett, the first general to die in the war. At the Battle of Gettysburg, Garnett, despite suffering from a fever and a leg injury that left him unable to walk, insisted on leading his brigade during Pickett's charge. Garnett got within 20 yards of the angle, a bend in the stone wall on Cemetery Ridge, before he was shot in the head while waving his hat to urge his troops forward. Garnett's body was never conclusively identified and was buried by Union troops in a mass grave. Garnett died on July 3, 1863. Paul Jones Semmes was born on June 4, 1815, in Wilkes County, Georgia. During the Battle of Gettysburg, he led his brigade in the vicious fighting in the wheat field. While urging his men forward, Semmes was struck in the thigh. His wound was severe, and he was evacuated for treatment. Despite medical care, the wound became infected and led to complications. Semmes lingered for 8 days before succumbing to his injuries on July 10, 1863, at the age of 48. Carnot Posey was born on August 5, 1818, in Wilkinson County, Mississippi. At the Battle of Bristoe Station on October 14, 1863, while overseeing troop movements near the Orange and Alexandria Railroad, Posey, a brigadier general, was struck in the thigh by a shell fragment. Infection soon set in, and despite efforts to save him, he succumbed to the resulting complications. Posey died nearly a month after being wounded on November 13, 1863, at the age of 45. James Ule Brown, J.E.B. Stewart, was born on February 6, 1833, in Patrick County, Virginia. On May 11, 1864, during the Battle of Yellow Tavern, he was shot in the abdomen by a dismounted Union trooper from the 5th Michigan Cavalry. The large caliber round exited out his back, an inch to the right of his spine. Surrounded by his friends and family, he died the following day, on May 12, 1864, at the age of 31. Albert Gallatin Jenkins was born on November 10, 1830, in Cabell County, Virginia, in what is now West Virginia. Jenkins became a brigadier general in the Confederate Army and was known for his cavalry operations in Western Virginia. On May 9, 1864, during the Battle of Cloyd's Mountain, Jenkins was again commanding troops in Western Virginia when he was struck in the arm, shattering it. The wound became infected with gangrene. Despite every effort, he grew weaker and succumbed to the infection nearly 2 weeks later. Jenkins died on May 21, 1864, at the age of 33. Leonius Pulk was born on April 10, 1806, in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pulk commanded large forces in the Western Theater, including the Army of Mississippi. During the Atlanta campaign, he was conducting a reconnaissance mission on Pine Mountain near Marietta, Georgia. A Union artillery battery, having spotted his group, fired a precisely aimed shell. On June 14, 1864, the 3-inch shell directly hit Pulk in the torso, ripping through his body and killing him instantly. Pulk was 58 years old. William Henry Talbot Walker was born on November 26, 1816, in Augusta, Georgia. During the Battle of Atlanta, Walker was riding his horse near the front lines to direct troop movements when he was shot in the chest by a Union soldier. The bullet tore through his heart, killing him instantly. Walker died on July 22, 1864, at the age of 47. Stephen Dodson Ramser was born on May 31, 1837, in Lincolnton, North Carolina. On October 19, 1864, during the Battle of Cedar Creek, Ramser was directing his division under intense Union counterattacks. While rallying his troops, he was struck in the chest and the shoulder. Despite receiving care, the wounds proved mortal. Ramser died on October 20, 1864, at the age of 27. Patrick Ronan Cleburn was born on March 16, 1828, in Ireland. Often called the Stonewall of the West, he earned respect across both sides for his performances at Perryville, Stones River, and Chickamauga. On November 30, 1864, during the Battle of Franklin in Tennessee, Cleburn, a major general, led his division in a direct frontal assault against the well-fortified Union position. He charged on foot into intense rifle and artillery fire. Somewhere near the front lines, Cleburn was struck in the chest and killed instantly. Cleburn died on November 30, 1864, at the age of 36. Well, there you have it. Who do you think had it worse? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you haven't already, be sure to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. You'll find more videos like this to sink your teeth into and daily trivia questions to test your historical knowledge. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.